Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. What's good for International Wine Day this week? Did you celebrate that?
I'd celebrate Wine Day every day, almost.
I had
Real
a
close.
feeling you were going to say that. I know I got all these Facebook posts. I didn't know what to do differently though.
I know.
It was just like, well, another day. I'll just do my thing, drink some wine. So welcome to a really fun Wednesday. We've got some great new things in this week. Robin put together a really cool pack that I'm super interested in hearing about because it's something very different. And we finally got in one of my favorite wines from Germany that I'm really excited to finally have on the shelf. So Peter Jakob Kuhn, producer in the Rheingau. Many people would say the best producer in the Rheingau. I don't like to use the word best too much though because there's many great producers in the Rheingau, but Peter Jakob Kuhn is certainly among the very, very best. And he makes wines from the entry level all the way up to some pretty expensive wines in the hundreds of dollars. And remarkably, those have all sold out. We're just down to these two.
Didn't take very long, but I can totally understand why after tasting a couple of these wines. They are spectacular.
Yeah.
He's 11th generation now, my understanding.
Something like that. You lose track after a while though, don't you? They've been at it a while.
Yeah.
How's that? So the winemaking here is really among the best in Germany. They work entirely organically, biodynamically. I think what really sets these wines apart is their balance. So these are bone dry Rieslings. So sometimes when you get into the really dry Rieslings, these wines can get really tart, really crisp. You got to really control that acid and that texture. And I don't think anyone does it as well as he does. Have you had a chance to try both these?
I have, and they're awesome. I mean, the sparkling Riesling is really cool because, I mean, one of the most important things for me in my sparkling wine is making sure that it's got that acidity and that brightness and freshness.
Yeah.
And this definitely has that, and it's super aromatic. It was really fun.
You know, here's my secret. I've never liked sparkling Riesling before.
Ooh.
And the reason I haven't is because I always find it like the sweetness of the Riesling comes through and I find the wine's just like too floral, too soft. But this one drinks more like champagne where it was really dry, really lean, really crisp, and it had that real mineral component to it. In fact, I don't know if I'd know that was even Riesling just off the hop. It was more to me just a really high quality, amazingly made sparkling wine. And at $45, it's definitely hitting under the price point of all the champagne on the shelf. So if you love champagne but you want to try something a little different, this is something I would highly recommend trying. It is really spectacular. And into the white, this is the Jacobus. So this is a blend of a number of different vineyards within the Rheingau. But for what we call an entry-level wine, I mean, it's $34.95, so it's not inexpensive, but nothing from Kuhn is. They really are sort of an elite producer, so they don't make cheap and cheerful. But at $35, I don't know if there's a wine in the store that I like more than that one for white.
Ooh.
Yeah, go ahead and say it. I actually had this last night, just randomly. Little sushi takeout. This is always the wine I reach for.
Yeah.
But it is really spectacular. It's so complex. There's so much going on. If you're a Riesling fan, you owe it to yourself to try this at least once. It is a really special wine and I think an absolute knockout. So don't miss these. They are amazing. They are in small quantities and they are flying out of the shop. And I don't imagine I'll have them for a super long time, but probably at least 2-3 weeks from now. So give them a try.
Couple weeks.
Yeah, they are awesome wines. If you don't like them, Robin will give you your money back, I promise. All right, what did you do over here? I like what you got going on.
Well, thank you. Wild Whites. So we went
There we
for things that you're gonna not necessarily turn to all the time. I was talking with some colleagues here recently and saying like I really wanted to spend this month drinking outside of my usual bubble.
Right.
And that inspired us to kind of do that with one of these wine packs as well. We're coming into what's going to be a sunny and warm weekend. Yay!
Let's hope. All right.
So we
Take your
definitely
word
need
for it.
some white wine, and we need to branch out and try these because all of these wines are remarkably different from one another. So
Yeah.
you are getting some crazy different styles here, and really, really tasty.
I love these wines. I mean, the Vin Perdu is a wine. If you haven't had it yet, it's so unique. It's made with grape varieties that you probably haven't even heard of. Things like Grenache Gris, Macville. There's some really neat grapes in there. It's kind of a richer style of wine, like a really powerful wine.
It sort of reminds me of like a Rhone Valley blend or like a white Chateauneuf where it's got that like fullness and it's really textural and kind of that like baked
It's a whopper.
Yeah.
You're not going to miss the point with that one. If
No.
it comes across, you know, you're going to have an opinion one way or the other. And the Jurançon, I mean, what a cool wine. I was lucky to visit these guys last year just before COVID kind of shut down the planet. But we snuck in to visit one of the most beautiful places I've ever been, just in the foothills of the Pyrenees. So they use little Petit Manseng in that one, and it is a grape variety that has really good crispness. It's got kind of like an orange tangerine character to it. Amazing food wine. So much you can do on the table with that, but it's just a real experience. I love that one.
Yeah. And then Bernaboleva, which we talked about last week, one of my new favorite whites in our shop. So that retails for $24.95. We added it into this little mix because, again, just like a really interesting, cool style of wine. Tedeschi Suave. So this isn't going to be necessarily like completely wild and out of the mix.
But people forget about it, right?
Yeah, it's just one we
Garganega,
don't go to.
it's a grape variety you don't see very often or think about very often. You know, people pass by the Suave thinking it's, you know, that old school kind of boring style, but there's some real character in that. This example is actually a single vineyard example, and it's one that I think people need to try. It's got this real cool kind of like bitter almond character to it, which is a classic note for Garganega, but it's a really fun wine and a great price point, right around $20.
And then you can practice saying that word after a couple glasses of it and see how you do.
Say whatever you want.
And then this Moscato Giallo. So bone dry style of Moscato. People see the name and they're like, oh, I don't know if I really want Moscato.
You do.
But when it's dry and it's floral and you've got that orange blossom and kind of mandarin thing happening, it's super, super fun. Really good with kind of patio style food fare, like that lighter salads, any kind of like Asian grilled chicken.
It's such a neat wine. Everyone who tries this is just going to have like an eye-opening experience. Dry Muscat is really a fun wine to drink. It is the ultimate kind of hot day patio wine for sure. And it's something so unique. This comes from Alto Adige, so we're really in the foothills of the Austrian Alps, just as you're getting into an area that's really too mountainous to plant grape varieties. So you're going to love how perfumed, how just like this jumps out of the glass, and you're going to expect it's going to be sweet, and then you taste it and it's bone dry, and it kind of really messes with your mind a little bit. But I think it's an amazing wine. I actually brought that in just for me. I only brought in I think 5 cases because I like it so much. I knew I'd drink it over the summer, so hopefully you guys don't buy all of it because
well, thank you.
Yeah, that's kind of my secret stash there. So there you go. Anything else going on this week, Robin, that anyone needs to know about, or?
I don't know. Door's going to be open this weekend, so come on, check us out. We're here. We've got Best White Wines, $119.95 online.
Right on. That's a great deal for that pack. So let's get adventurous this weekend. Try something new.